What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another Team Empire video. It is I, Steve, the self-proclaimed Keter King, and today we're going to be going over all of the new Razeal cards that were revealed. If you watched the second episode of the anime DivineZ, you know how crazy of a card this is. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so let's go ahead and start off with this ride line. The grade 1 was revealed to be Patrol of Gust Ventesta. When this unit is rode upon by Knight of Great Advance Assessor, call this card to a rearguard circle and soul charge 1. It also has a continuous effect, which says during your turn, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Razeal in its card name, this unit gets power plus 2000. So it becomes a 10,000 booster. Its grade 2 is Knight of Great Advance Assessor. When this unit is rode upon by a grade 3 card with Razeal in its card name, choose up to one grade 2 or less card from your drop and call it to a rearguard circle. Now when it comes to the ride line, I'm not a big fan of that grade 1. I'm not a big fan of soul charging from the deck. I have no problem soul charging from like the drop using a card like Drilling Angel, but soul charging from the deck, it is a gamble. May lose your over trigger, may lose a persona ride, maybe lose something that you just need. So I'm not a big fan of that. The grade 2 Assessor is actually pretty solid as long as you remember to pitch a card or pitch a unit for your ride up, so that way you can bring it back. That's pretty solid. So I personally would probably change this Ventesta, the grade 1, to maybe like the Alden ride line, Tranquilia, the grade 1. That one is when it's rode upon, reveal 3 cards from your hand with 3 different grades. Once you reveal those cards, you can check the top 5 cards of the deck and choose a grade 1 or less and call it to a rearguard circle. This is really cool. I like that because you start to deck thin, and of course getting to your triggers makes the game a lot easier. You do have a case to change Assessor, the grade 2, to the grade 2 Alden ride line, Saudios, which technically does the same thing as the grade 1 Tranquilia, but instead of just a grade 1 or less, you can check the top 5 and choose a grade 2 or less rearguard and call it to a rearguard circle. Again, deck thinning wins games. Then we have Razeal himself. Faded One of Miracles Razeal. His auto Vanguard ability is when this unit attacks a Vanguard, Counterblast 1. Choose up to 2 cards from your drop with different grades and a total grade less than or equal to the number of cards in your damage zone and call them to a rearguard circle. So basically, if you have 4 damage, you can call 2 units that are grade 2 each and call to a rearguard circle. If you have 3 damage, you can call it grade 3. This is how you're going to get your multi-attacks, whether it's going to be 5 less power attacks or 4 bigger attacks. Then you have Razeal's Divine Skill. Remember, Divine Skills can only be used once per fight. So Razeal's Divine Skill is Soul Blast 1, return all critical triggers from your drop to the deck and shuffle it, and this unit gets drive plus 1 until end of turn. Until end of this fight, you cannot ride units without Razeal in their card names, and you get, when your damage check reveals a trigger unit other than heal, if your damage zone has 5 or more cards, choose a card from your damage zone, heal it, and you lose this ability. So basically this is the 6 damage heal. If you hit anything else than a heal on your 6 damage, you still heal, which is a pretty solid card. This is going to be I feel like this could be a bit annoying. Just, you think you're going to win, and then they just hit a critical or they hit a draw. The draw triggers I feel like are going to be really annoying, because not only do they get to survive, but then they get to draw 1 card. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, Razeal sounds really cool. Not a big fan of the ride line, except for maybe that grade 2. It's actually not bad. Maybe I would change that for the Alden ride line, which is again going to be the grade 1 Tranquilia, grade 2 Sadios. If you want to have a little bit more of a chance, if you want to take more of a chance and getting cards out of the deck and deck thinning, I think that might be a pretty solid option for a ride line. So let's go ahead and jump into the support cards that Razeal received. First, an easy one, Gigantic Masher. Continuous rearguard circle. If your unit was placed on a rearguard circle by the ability of your Vanguard with Razeal and its card name this turn, this unit gets power plus 15,000. Pretty simple. Call it from the drop, gets an extra 15,000 power. The second one is going to be Aerial Sage. Aerial Sage's ability is Continuous Rearguard Circle. During the battle, this unit boosted. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Razeal in its card name, this unit gets power plus 5,000. Second ability, which is an Auto Rearguard Circle. When this unit boosts a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Razeal in its card name, discard a card from your hand and countercharge 1, and this unit gets power plus 2,000 until end of that battle. The countercharger, Aerial Sage, also giving it 7,000 power, and I believe it's a grade 1, so it's 8,000. So this is a 15,000 booster if you put it behind Razeal. A couple cards that go hand to hand with Aerial Sage with the discard cost. Of course, you have Wayward Therapy Angel. Discard when it's discarded from your hand. You can Soul Blast 1 and call it to a back row rearguard circle. So you can give one of your columns an extra 10,000 power and start building out your board. If you don't want to build out your board, another one that comes to mind is Soaring Break Goshock Harvick, which just came out in DBT 13. This is, I think, was supposed to be Alden support card, but this ability is when it's discarded from your hand by a card's ability during your turn, of course, Soul Blast 1 and draw a card, so you can maintain that hand advantage. So a couple cards that come to mind if you are going to use, or if you want to take advantage of Aerial Sage's discard cost ability. And then the biggest one I believe we have, Knight of Gentle Beauty Nobia, or maybe it's pronounced Nabia. Her ability is, when this unit is placed on a rearguard circle, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Razeal in its card name, counterblast 1, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 3 or less card from among them, call to a rearguard circle, and put the rest on the bottom of the deck in any order. If it is your battle phase, reveal it and put it into your hand instead of calling it. Second ability is, when this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Razeal in its card name, Soul Blast 1, and this unit gets power plus 10,000 until end of that battle. Pretty cool second ability. Soul Blasting to gain 10,000 power is crazy strong. But the first ability, kind of like a Kybre ability, sounds like it's a better Kybre ability. Check in top 3, choose a grade 3 or less from among them and call to a rearguard circle. This is a pretty solid card to start building the board. Again, this can be, I feel like this would be paired better with Sadios, hopefully getting Nabia out of the deck from the top 5 that you choose, or that you get to look at, and then continuing the deck thin and just building your board through the deck instead of building your board through your hand. Those are actually the type of decks that I really enjoy. Razeal is sounding really exciting to play. I'm really excited to see what else comes out for Razeal. We do have, I believe, 1 or 2 more. First one we're going to talk about is Gargown. I apologize if I mispronounced that. Simple generic card. Rearguard Guardian Circle. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Razeal in its card name, this unit gets power plus 5,000, shield plus 5,000, which will also be active on your opponent's turn. So really good support card. It's a grade 1, 8,000 power, so adding the 5 will make it a 13k booster or a 13k attacker, but also the shield value with the numbers for the game going up, having extra shield is always a solid idea if you want to build a deck in that in that way. Okay, so final card that we are going to talk about today is the Blitz Order. The Coming of Heaven is a stage of miracles. And of course, the word miracles is in this card, so probably going to work well with Razeal. Like I said before, it is a Blitz Order. Its ability is play this cost with Energy Blast 2. So no Counter Blast, no Soul Blast, Energy Blast 2. Look at the top card of your deck and either call it to a Guardian Circle or put it on the top of your deck. If you called, the called unit gets shield plus 10,000 until end of battle. Now, I was talking to some people how this is actually a pretty solid card. I like that you can call, units, shield units from the top of the deck if you want to, or you basically just kind of check the top of the deck and maybe get like a defensive trigger, or maybe a really good defensive card, which will be added on, the shield be added on as you put it onto the Guardian Circle. But this card is going to work well with Razeal when you activate Razeal's Divine Skill, because you can look at the top of the card. If it's a trigger and you activate Razeal's Divine Skill, you're going to heal. You're not going to die for that attack. I do see how this card can come into play. I like the idea of it, and I think it's going to pair well with Razeal. Let's talk about this last order that came out was revealed around the same time as the Blitz Order. The order's name is Warrior's Rest, and it does play this with cost Energy Blast 2. Choose 2 of your units and they get continuous Vanguard Rearguard Circle. During the battle this unit is boosted, this unit gets power plus 10,000 until end of turn. If you have 5 or more units, draw a card. So like I was saying, this sounds like it's to be a pretty solid card as well. As you build your board, keep in mind of the 5 units that you're going to need to draw a card. But this is going to be a solid rush card. You're going first, you go into Razeal, build out your board, and then you can play this, and 2 of your units will gain an extra 10,000 power. It's a great rush turn to really put your opponent on their back heels. And I believe that is every single Keter card or every single Razeal card that has been revealed. I don't know if you all have seen the secret rares, the SECs yet, but I need to get me one of those Razeal SECs. That looks so fire. I personally think they look better than the previous SECs, the one that has the faces on them. Didn't like those. I didn't think those were really good. Razeal's looks amazing. But that's everything for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and going through these Razeal cards. Comment down below what you're excited about if you are going to be a Razeal fan or a Razeal player. Comment down below which cards you're going to be throwing in your Razeal decks. Seems like this deck can use a lot of the generic cards. And is really going to be powered up by the generic cards. One big one that's coming to mind is Painkiller Angel. I feel like that card is the best Keter card of all time because it just keeps coming back. Like, it hasn't been power crept in any way, shape, or form. It just keeps coming back. So let us know down below what you will be adding to your Razeal decks. And of course, if you are new here, welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification for when more Team Empire videos drop. Again, this is Steve from Team Empire. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.